So observe the psychology of some entities that literally use the word quote unquote colonizing. Now, lovelies and developing souls, as we've always said, there's a concept and then there's words. So that word colonizing, why is it that it seems like, oh, that's not quote unquote normal? That's called rinse and repeat. So if you send someone to a different planet and you're not of that light spectrum, your body, your brief planetary body cannot exist in that atmosphere, but that's a whole entire different light spectrum. Why is it that you're trying to get to a location, you're trying to fit, and then your body can't naturally be there because literally your body is not of that light spectrum? Every planet has a different light spectrum. So when you have entities being sent to a different planet to quote unquote colonize, what do they do to the indigenous souls in organism bodies that are native to that light spectrum of that planet? Is that confusing? Because you have entities literally using the word colonize. See it for what it is. It's someone literally sending underdeveloped souls to commit atrocities, to invade, steal resources and organs. For who? Follow the chain of command. Because when you look at quote unquote history, the history goes back to other planets. It's not only this planet, it goes back to other planets. And right now, they're showing you the same rinse and repeat when they're trying to want to get to Mars. They want to get to all these different planets, lying to you, saying, oh, there's scarcity on this planet when there's actually abundance. And what they want is they're depopulating the developing souls, becoming too aware, and they're aiming to send underdeveloped souls to a different planet so that they can commit atrocities. And guess what? When those souls cannot exist in that light spectrum, what do? Oh, they put astronaut suits on. Oh, weren't the quote-unquote Muslims doing that when they couldn't exist under that sun in a specific continent? Didn't they shave off their hair because they got too hot and they're not naturally of that region? They actually come out of Siberia because they were placed 6,000 years back by certain reptilian alien parasites onto the planet in that cold climate where there was not that much light spectrum, so that they can then gradually make their way across the planet. Oh, that's really interesting, because they're not supposed to exist under the water. You have them making scuba suits, quote unquote they. And again, remember, not a single humanoid species is to blame. Not a single one is to blame. It's the toxic thought forms you have to trace. Because guess what? You are not the brief planetary body. You're the eternal soul. So it doesn't matter what brief planetary body you manifest in. But it is important for you to know how an underdeveloped humanoid species was used. For example, you know how many underdeveloped humanoid civilizations there were on this planet? And they were fighting each other, doing all this pointless nonsense that really didn't amount to anything significant. And it's like they couldn't even really trace or step into higher perspective world psychology. And that's why it's really important for you to observe certain thought forms and point out all those trash, corrupt, toxic thought forms that are all being now factually checked and legally sieged in Age of Aquarius. Right now, if you want to go exist in the ocean, in that aquatic realm where there's different light spectrum, you want to exist under there, you would have to get yourself an organism body that can exist in that atmosphere, or else you can't exist in there. So what do some entities do? Oh, they make suits and they try to go under the water to see what those organisms under there are doing. If your planetary body can only express itself so much, it can only express itself so much. Like, what else do you want? For example, right now you're in a human body, right? If your consciousness, your soul, were to be placed in a fish's body, you would not have the body parts to communicate with a different planetary body. That's like placing a phone in a car and then telling the fucking phone to communicate with the car. It's not going to be easy. That's when you have to ask, does the car have parts that allows it to do that? Has it developed? Is it advanced enough? Have certain specific parts been given to that car? And don't say, oh, but that's a car and blah, blah. All technology comes from nature. You see it in nature first, and then you make something. But it starts in nature. You have to see the laws of this universe. What phone is it? Is it a phone from the 70s? It's not going to be, it can't communicate. It's missing parts. Okay? So all organism bodies are gradually evolving dependent on their respective atmosphere under that light spectrum. That's a fact. So when we're talking about, we're not dealing with trash illusionary theory garbage that gets factually checked and legally sieged, has gotten factually checked and legally sieged. We're talking about reality, which you can observe. Critical thinking, awareness, light spectrum. Look at it up. Look at genuine evolution. If you arrive on this planet through the sun portal, now you can navigate this planet, but you also have to step into what? Evolving. Developing, evolving. And as you become a powerful, righteous co-creator in your direct space, and you have 30,000 plus years worth of knowledge, skill, and awareness, you develop, as already said, compassion. When you do that, you learn more. And so the thing is this, there's certain parasites that have been detached from awareness. Their souls have been corrupted, and so they don't have a soul anymore. That means they cannot leave this planet. So how do they leave the planet? They have to do it physically, through physical means. And so since they were tricked into selling their souls, and they cannot leave this planetary body, and they cannot leave this atmosphere, now they have to do the bidding of those trash energetic parasites that tricked them into human trafficking, child sacrifice, drinking blood, organ harvesting, all that trash that's being factually checked and legally sieged. Now you comprehend the limited psychology of those pedo Satan worshipping, spell casting energetic parasites that are all being now factually checked and legally sieged. They're desperate to try to keep you, the listener, from expanding. And guess what? You just got some awareness. Now you can expand. Use that information wisely as you navigate this planet in this age of Aquarius. We have a lot of valuable course lessons. You just got a DM and you'll get that valuable information so you can be an effective, righteous, powerful, responsible co-creator in your direct space in this age of Aquarius. And so the thing is this, keep that in mind what was said. Listen to it a couple times and expand it, because so much information could be given to you right now, but we're going to let you research. We're going to allow you to do rediscoveries. We're going to allow you to sort of observe, and you can ask for those certain course lessons. But comprehend that whole colony nonsense. You can see it in the vocabulary. A concept is always going to exist, but it's how somebody bends the concept or uses it for evil intentions that you have to be able to observe in order for you to know, okay, which word is to be abolished, which word is to be reformed, what are new words that are to be created. But on that note, just keep that in mind. If a brief planetary body is not meant to be in a specific area, you're going to see side effects. You're going to see a lot of things happening to that because that's not its natural habitat. Like if you take a penguin and you place it in the desert, that's not its natural habitat. And the penguin lacks certain quote-unquote body parts that allows it to then figure out, okay, let's do this and that, blah, blah, blah. They can't. So the thing is this, you have to keep in mind the perception, how an entity is used. Is an entity aware that it's being used? Like what's really going on? You have to figure that out. And so it all boils down to you tracing the chain of command, which in this case, we're observing the chain of command of a specific humanoid species that was manipulated into doing corrupt garbage until now that trash chain of command is factually checked and legally sieged in this age of Aquarius. Cough, cough. Literally the top 18 locations for high cancer rates are for Caucasoids in Europe. Cough, cough. Cough. They're not naturally from there. Cough, cough. What does that mean? Cough, cough. That's a whole other course lesson. Cough, cough. That's a whole other factual course lesson. Cough, cough. Real history. Cough, cough. Higher perspective world psychology. Cough, cough. Truth being provided to all developing souls and all humanoid species. Cough, cough.